Well, hello everyone. This is Kevin with Notch 8 Customs, and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is the very first video that I've ever uploaded to YouTube, so we'll see how this goes. Today I wanted to take some time just explaining how to program your LokSound decoders to make them a little more prototypical, specifically the headlight. As they come from the factory or the sound files come from ESU when you download them, typically they have the headlights tied to F0, and if you're driving forward, your headlight comes on. If you're driving in reverse, your rear light comes on. Now, prototypically, that's not the most accurate. Both of those lights are controlled independent of their direction. They consolidate them to F0 just to keep things simple and keep things tidy. So in reality, if you're running a DPU or if you want your headlights to be running independent of the direction, it's fairly easy to change. The biggest consideration is figuring out what button you're going to program your your headlight to. So for starters, you can see here I pulled up just a regular sound file from LokSound, just downloaded it right off of the internet, and you can see from the factory it comes in with the headlight and the rear headlight tied to F0. And you can see right here we're in the function mapping tab. I should have said that on the decoder. So in the function mapping tab, you can see that they're tied in, and it's very easy to change this. Very easy to go in here. All you have to do is click, and there's a little drop down arrow. You click on that, and then you can change what that headlight is then tied to. So in this case, we want it to stay on F0, so we want that to be on, but we want to ignore the direction. So we're going to go ahead and click that, go to ignore, and you can see now F0 controls the headlight. The direction will not matter. Now for the rear headlight, this is fairly straightforward as well. We don't want it tied at all to F0. We're actually going to tie it to, in this case, F6, which is what I usually tie it to. We can go ahead and just select this whole line, and we can use this red X to delete that out. So now we no longer have a rear headlight. So now we need to go ahead and program that rear headlight to something else. As you can see, F6 is currently programmed to the ditch lights. So we're going to go ahead and take those off, and we'll go ahead and choose the rear light to come on. So now F6 is programmed for the rear headlight independent of whether you're driving forward or driving backward. Well, let's say you want some ditch lights. Well, we can go ahead and change that to another function if we wanted to as well. So let's say we had ditch lights, but we didn't have an emergency light. We'll go ahead and put that to F5. So we'll go ahead and select or unselect the emergency light, and we'll turn on ditch light right and ditch light left. So that'll be programmed to F5. So the way that it's set up right now, the ditch lights are set up for grade crossing. So when you sound the horn, say you're going across a grade, your ditch lights are going to flash. So let's go ahead and change that in case you don't want them to flash with the horn or you don't want them to flash at all. So from there we go to function outputs. You can see they're listed here for you. Ditch light left is currently set on with no power delays, so you can't, you turn it on, it comes right on, turn it off, turns right off. The important part here to note is the output mode. So when they're set to ditch light type 1, they'll set to oscillate, which means they'll flash on either side when the horn is sounded. So in this case, we want to take that off. So what I typically do is I just make them a dimmable headlight, so they fade in and out just like the real thing. And you'll notice down here at the bottom, I guess if I had left, I'll show you this. If you wanted a ditch light, but you didn't want the grade crossing, this is where it comes in. So you uncheck the grade crossing button. Now when you sound the horn, it will not flash. The same thing will do that for the right ditch light. We'll turn off that grade crossing and alternate phase, which is what makes it flash when the other one isn't. So right, as it sits right now, these ditch lights will not flash at all and will not flash with the horn. Now if we wanted them to flash with the horn, we would go ahead and enable the grade crossing on each of these ditch lights, and then we would also select alternate phase on the second ditch light so that they flashed alternate of each other. But we'll go ahead and leave those off for now. So as you can see, it's very, very easy to change these settings. If you wanted your ditch lights to just be a dimmable headlight that just turns right on, we can go ahead and turn that function into that. So they'll turn right on and right off, won't glow, won't have that glow as they fade in or fade out with the ditch lights. So quick and dirty video. I realize that probably wasn't the best recording. I'm sure I said a lot. But hopefully this helps you in your programming. I know when I was getting started in programming these locomotives, it was not easy. There's definitely a learning curve. So hopefully I can help take some of that that guesswork and that learning curve, make that a little less steep for you. So comment with any other videos you'd like to see. I'll be doing lots of these videos of programming, and maybe even doing some recording of how I install LokSound into locomotives and some of the different tips and tricks that I do there. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed.